Let me also introduce Abhishek Manu Singhvi and our other guest. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you know, the sad part is, you'd like to say that, travesty of justice. There are various idioms we'd like to add to it. But my question to you, sir, is, your government took over in the end of November 2018. The case still wasn't closed. The investigations were still carried on. What happened? Because it just seems that whether it's BJP, whether it's Congress, there is no room for justice.
It's very sad, most unfortunate. I have already said that this prima facie appears to be a perverse judgment, and even if I use words which I think are of mild moderation. First of all, what is forgotten is that judges are not helpless. They are not merely passive recipients of evidence. They have vast powers under the law to make new parties and accused, direct re-investigation, themselves send for forensic where a doubt occurs. So it's a mistake to assume that judges who find in the course of trial lacuna cannot fill up the gaps. Second, most importantly, the largest part, see, this happened in April or so of 2017. The Congress government, and I'm not making a political comment, I'm just putting things in perspective, came in late 2018. There is almost everything bar the shouting which happens in investigation, which is collection of evidence, sending for tests, for example, test identification parade, sending to forensic lab, filing the charge sheet, then making basic arguments on charges. All of it happens much before in 2017. Nothing happens even in 2018. In 2019, only arguments on frozen, ripened papers are held. Now, clearly, there has been a mess up either by collusion of the then prosecution or otherwise in 2017. Because you know the facts, madam. You know that the test identification parade was not held. You know that forensics were not sent. You know that what lawyers call a 164 statement was not recorded by a witness who was the shooter of the video, so he could not retract his statement. I mean, I can go into all kinds of legalese, but this is the truth, the sad truth of the matter. And the judge, even then in 2019, when everything had been done, ought to have hauled up the police very, very harshly. It could even have directed a re-investigation in some aspects. So I think I would fault on all those sides. I have something else to say on the larger issue, but that's my answer on the narrower issue.
All right, Mr. Singhvi, the fact is also that the Congress government, which was in power by the end of 2018, did not monitor the probe. The fact is in 2017, the Congress government did also sit on a dharna asking that the probe be shifted to the CBI, saying that the police is watching up the probe. Then what was it doing for all this time? I'm going to ask you that question, but just stay on with me. I'd like to bring in our other guest, John Dial. The question I'd like to ask you is, and let's just go through it, because I'm just going through the judgment, and it is a little bizarre. We're not questioning the motive of the judgment, but I just want to go through it. Because it seems that the learned judge has actually taken into account the first post-mortem, which was anyway questioned, which says he died of a heart attack, and which did not delve into what was the reason for that heart attack. The second medical report clearly suggests that it was because of bad and brutal beating, which led to the heart attack. It's a little bizarre if you just look at the judgment.
I think the greatest tragedy is we are discussing this case on Independence Day, when from the rampart of the Red Fort, the Prime Minister made certain statements which are of great interest, possibly even concern, to religious minorities. I have, with Harsh Manda, visited more than 50 cases of lynching across central India, including Rajasthan, including Pehlu Khan's case. And prima facie, I mean, my first impression would be to tell you this is a combination of bigotry at all levels. At the level of the criminals who killed him, at the level of the police who first would not register, then register a simple complaint, then do all that do, and lastly at the prosecution and the judicial level. Also, there is no forensic science involved in investigations. There is absolutely no effort to protect witnesses or ensure that witnesses don't turn hostile there is certainly no effort to ensure that the guilty don't escape. And the combination is that the victim is still facing charges.
Right.
The criminals are walking.
The victim in this
free.
question,
what more
Pehlu
can I
Khan,
say?
posthumously, so that those charges of him being a cow smuggler are dropped, but yes, his two sons are continue to face charges on being
His
called cow smugglers. Coming right back to
His
you, let me go
children.
across to Vikram Singh, a
His
former
children.
DGP, Uttar Pradesh. And Mr. Singh, I want to ask you one question. The entire world saw Pehlu Khan being lynched. Why is it that the court couldn't see it? What was it that was the failing of the Rajasthan police today? And I have a whole list of it, sir, in front of me. Every count, the Rajasthan police failed to deliver justice, failed to investigate fairly.
Preeti, may I submit the Shakespearean way? There's enough light in the world for those who wish to see, and enough darkness for those who have the opposite disposition. There is overwhelming evidence to show that Pehlu Khan was lynched, and lynched at a public place, and if the police wanted to, it is a basic investigation which a Chowki in charge sub-inspector could have finalized with great elan and finish. Why this has not happened, in spite of having the so-called best investigator? Rajasthan police is a wonderful force and make the best instructors in the country. Don't make no mistake about it. What happened in this case is terribly that every person involved in the investigation has failed Pehlu Khan and his family. An investigation, what you call botched, I would say a compromised investigation. What you say in evidence collection was a flawed collection of evidence, and the production, it is bad investigation, worse prosecution, and poor appreciation of evidence. I would also say, as Mr. Singhvi has very rightly mentioned, the court is not passive. One would have expected a proactive approach, that if the video clip was not sent for ballistic and scientific evaluation, then it was the job of the higher officials in the police, the prosecutors, and everybody involved with the investigation to have ensured that. Statements under 164 CRPC are almost infallible. Why were they not recorded? Was there an attempt to provide an escape route? And the rest is history. Even if it is a heart attack of this type, I can tell you from my experience, can be a consequence of the brutality inflicted upon Pehlu Khan. And therefore, nobody can wash his hands off the case.
All right.
It is the responsibility that
I want to bring in Mr. Singhvi again, and then I'd like to go to
discharge.
Lakshmikant Bharadwaj, because Mr. Bharadwaj, what you call an absolute fair probe. The police in this case did not even do the basics of verifying a video, which you and I can see Pehlu Khan being beaten in brutality. We'll come back to you on that. Let me bring in Mr. Singhvi again, because Mr. Singhvi, you know, and I want to ask you that question, which we were talking about earlier. The Congress came to power in the end of around November 2018. It did not monitor the probe. Coming from the fact of sitting on dharnas in 2017 when this incident happened, saying give it to CBI. What did the Congress do? The Congress could have stopped it. The Congress could have monitored the probe. The Congress could have said that the probe needs to be reassigned. What did the Congress do?
First of all, I don't think it's a political question, and let me be very clear. I would be as condemning of the Congress government as of a BJP government if I found any reasonable role of the Congress in botching it up. Secondly, I believe the Congress government should immediately, effectively, with special engagement of special counsel, appeal. Thirdly, you may be theoretically right, but you're only theoretically right. A small window at the highest is from the end of 18 till March or so of 19. I don't think it's fair to blame when everything, what is an investigation? Investigation is from the point of the incident, collection of evidence, photographs, sending to test identification parade, sending to forensic, sending recording 164 statements of the person who shot the video. This all happened not in 2019, in 2017. And in 2018, for the whole of the year, other things happened. Now, you're right that in that 4-month period, something drastic could have been done. And possibly, I suppose, had the government or the prosecutors guessed that this was going to be the lackadaisical outcome of the case, then they might have done it. But I think even at the highest, and I'm quite happy to allocate blame, irrespective of political color, even if it is there, it is very partial, it is fractionally very small.
That prompts me to ask you, Mr. Singhvi, because that 4-month, it's more than 4 months, but that small period of window which you talk, where the Congress came into power, which is, I would reckon, about November 2018, until March, where the investigation of this case was closed. I want to talk about that window. That window was enough for possibly the Congress to ask for a CBI probe? It was asking in 2017. Why did it not ask at that point of time? Why did it not order a reinvestigation? These are questions which would be asked. Is it because the Congress is also trying very hard to walk that fine, soft Hindutva line when it comes to Rajasthan?
I think unknowingly you're making exactly the same point I'm making. That's where the dates matter. There was nothing to hand over to the CBI at the end of 2018 is the whole point. A CBI is an investigating agency. It's not the arguing prosecutor, or at least it's not its main job. It, of course, has a prosecuting division there. What was there to hand over? Because the charge sheet was filed, all the evidence, the record was ripened. That is the whole tragedy. The Vasundhara Raje government for 24 months, almost the whole of 2017, 3/4 of it anyway, and the whole of 2018 did not do it. Now, at that time, actually, quite frankly, if you had handed it over to the CBI end of 18, you would be actually accused of delaying the whole thing. Because CBI would start at some odd place, redo and de novo, that would be counterproductive. I think the ultimate problem was twofold. One, lacunae which had happened already. No, now it's an appeal. There's no question, now it's an appeal. Appeal will have to be on the basis of the record available. The appeal court may redirect reinvestigation, but it's an appeal now. Now there is no reinvestigation. That time the matter was ripe for being heard. But I also fault the learned judge. If the judge in the gap from end 18 to 2019 March or whatever found gaps, they have sufficient powers. For example, let me give an example, and these are very telling, a little technical, but it's important for the viewers to know. Suppose you find a video clearly A is murdering B, and the videos are fairly clear in terms of the face also. The image is fairly clear. But assume it's not clear, you can do all kinds of technology to get the image clear. But suppose you find a murder being committed. You will never rule it out under any law of indivisibility under Evidence Act or any other act of India on the ground that there is no certificate, etc. That's not the law. Ultimately, the content decides. It is not automatically admissible. The court can look and see whether somebody has, for example, photoshopped or forged a video.
So this is what John Dayal was possibly saying, and that's what you're hinting at there, that it's from the beginning to the end, it was, and John Dayal, I'll bring you in. What you say is right from investigation, right up till, what the learned judge said, it's all doubtful. Is that what you're saying?
More than that, what I'm saying is the impunity. See, much later, many weeks later, Harsh Mandal and I took a bus to that place to investigate and pay our own respects to Peluka. Our bus was stoned by people belonging to what I can call the Sangh Parivar. The police was stopping us, not stopping the stoners. That is what I'm saying. Rajasthan police, in the period that we are commenting upon, was acting, if not under fear, certainly they were acting at the behest of these people.
All right, okay. लक्ष्मीकांत भारद्वाज जी, मैं आपसे फिर से वही सवाल करती हूँ जो पहले किया था, जो आप कह रहे हैं कि जो राजस्थान पुलिस है बहुत फेयर प्रोब की है। सर मुझे आप बताइए, एक वीडियो है, साफ दिख रहा है कि पहलू खान की जम के पिटाई हो रही है। अब वो वीडियो भी आप वेरीफाई नहीं कर पाए, पुलिस अभी तक उसको साइंटिफिकली वेरीफाई नहीं कर पाई। 2 साल हो गए तो वो वीडियो एडमिट ही नहीं हुआ एज एविडेंस। सबको दिख रहा है कि पहलू खान की इतनी पिटाई हुई है कि वो मर सकता है, पर वो एविडेंस ही नहीं है, जज को दिखाया ही नहीं गया है।
देखिए, 2 बात है। पहली बात यह है कि इस मामले में जिनको आपत्ति है, बाद में जब कांग्रेस पार्टी की सरकार आई तो उसके पास ऑप्शन था कि यहाँ पर सप्लीमेंट्री चार्जशीट दायर की जा सकती थी।
पर सर आप तो कह रहे हैं फेयर प्रोब है,
के टाइम पर हुई थी, वहाँ एविडेंस।
पर अगर फेयर प्रोब थी तो कांग्रेस को क्यों करने की जरूरत?
लेकिन इनका मकसद जो आपके पैनलिस्ट यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, उनमें से भी कई लोगों का मकसद पहलू खान को इंसाफ दिलाना नहीं, बल्कि उसके नाम के आगे जो खान जुड़ा हुआ था उसके मार्फत पूरे देश में प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाना था, और उसकी वजह से जिसको हत्या।
सर आप खान को भूल जाइए, आपने पहलू को जस्टिस दिलवाया है।
इंडिपेंडेंस डे को ये बोलते हुए आपको शर्म आनी
20 दिन पहले उसी अलवर जिले में एक दलित युवक को पीट कर मार दिया
मेरी बात सुनिए
की ओर से, और आप उसका नाम नहीं।
भारद्वाज जी 2 सवाल, आपने 2 सवाल किए।
आपका
प्रोपेगेंडा पूरे देश में, आज आपको
प्रोपेगेंडा फैलाया गया पूरे देश में आपके द्वारा। हत्या के केस को मॉब लिंचिंग बनाकर पेश किया गया, और उसी की वजह से आज जज ने पुलिस की
भारद्वाज जी एक सेकेंड नहीं, भारद्वाज जी मैं आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहूंगी। आप कह रहे हैं एक हत्या के केस को मॉब लिंचिंग बना के प्रेजेंट किया गया। आप क्या मतलब समझ नहीं आ रहा है मेरे को, आप कहना क्या चाह रहे हैं यहाँ पे? और आपने दो सवाल उठाए, उन दोनों
ये कहना चाह रहा हूं कि जो हत्या का केस था, उस हत्या के केस को पूरे देश में, पूरी दुनिया में इस तरह प्रेजेंट किया गया कि राजस्थान में भारतीय जनता पार्टी
सर मॉब लिंचिंग का मतलब क्या होता है?
ऊपर इस तरह भीड़ का हमला होता है।
मेरी बात सुनिए
पूरे
भारद्वाज जी, मॉब लिंचिंग का मतलब क्या होता है? अगर 6 लोग आपको जम के पीटे, आपकी जो गाड़ी में आप हो उसको पूरा वैंडलाइज कर दें, आपकी इतनी पिटाई करें कि आप मर जाएं, अब मॉब लिंचिंग उसके अलावा और क्या होता है? ये हत्या है क्या?
ये भी सिलेक्टिव है, क्योंकि आपको शायद पता नहीं है कि पिछले 3 दिन से जयपुर में 15 थाना क्षेत्रों में नेट बंद है और 144 की ऑफेंस लगी हुई है यहाँ पर, क्योंकि एक पूरी भीड़ आई।
सर चलिए, मैं बोल रही हूँ सेलेक्टिव छोड़िए।
वो आपको लिंचिंग
भारद्वाज जी आप अब कर रहे हैं, आप इसको कम्युनलाइज कर रहे हैं।
हॉस्पिटलाइज है
भारद्वाज जी, आप इसको कम्युनलाइज कर रहे हैं। जो अभी जयपुर में हुआ, मेरी बात सुनिए,
भीड़ ने पीटा लेकिन वो मॉब लिंचिंग नहीं दिखेगी।
चलिए मेरी बात सुनिए,
नाम के आगे पिटने वालों के नाम के आगे खान नहीं लगा हुआ।
सर मेरी बात सुनिए, जो आप बोल रहे हैं ना, इट्स वेरी बिगेटेड सर, क्योंकि मैं बताऊं आपको, जो अगर जस्टिस नहीं मिलेगा, अगर इस केस में, मेरी बात सुनिए भारद्वाज जी, 2 दिन पहले मेरी बात सुनिए,
लिंचिंग हुई है।
मेरी बात सुनिए आप मेरी बात सुनिए भारद्वाज जी, 2 दिन पहले जो केस हुआ जयपुर में, जिसके सेक्शन 144 लगा आधे राजस्थान में, जो अभी भी हर जगह, काफी जगह अभी भी क्लैम्प डाउन है, अगर उस केस में जस्टिस नहीं मिलेगा, मैं और आप यही बात कर रहे होंगे, क्योंकि आप इस बार ऑपोजिशन की तरफ से आएंगे 1 साल बाद, जब अगर उसकी हियरिंग होगी। आप खान को भूल जाइए, आप पहलू की बात कीजिए। पहलू को क्या आपकी सरकार ने या जो आपके सरकार के अंडर पुलिस आती है फेयर प्रोब दी के नहीं? जस्टिस तो भूलिए।
बिल्कुल, हमने ना उनके खान सरनेम को देखा, ना किसी और चीज को देखा। पुलिस ने अपना काम किया, पुलिस ने फेयर इन्वेस्टिगेशन की, पुलिस के पास जो एविडेंस थे वो कोर्ट में पेश किए, पुलिस ने चार्जशीट में।
सर वीडियो मेरे पास है, भिजवाएं क्या? बताइए पुलिस में किसको भिजवाना है?
आपके पास जो वीडियो है, उस वीडियो के आधार पर किसी को हत्या के केस में सजा नहीं दी जा सकती।
बहुत बढ़िया।
और जो वीडियो आपके पास है, वो वीडियो जज ने भी देखा होगा और जज ने पूरे
सर जज के पास वो वीडियो, ये वीडियो
विवेक पे भी
वेरीफाइड ही नहीं था, तो जज इस वीडियो को देख ही नहीं पाया। इट वॉज नॉन एडमिसिबल एज एविडेंस। थोड़ा केस देखिए
और जज ने
1 सेकंड थोड़ा केस देखिए, फिर बात करिए। 1 सेकंड सर, अगर वीडियो नॉन एडमिसिबल है तो जज देख के भी अनदेखा करेगा।
और जिन लोगों को राजस्थान जैसे स्टेट को बदनाम करना है, वो सवाल खड़ा कर रहे हैं। अगर आपको लगता है इस केस में इन्वेस्टिगेशन नहीं हुई, तो आपके पास बहुत सारे ऑप्शन थे। आप कोर्ट में, ऊपर की कोर्ट में जाकर आप बाकी के सबूत रख के सजा दिलवा सकते हैं, लेकिन आपका इंटरेस्ट वो नहीं है। आपका इंटरेस्ट एक स्टेट को बदनाम करने का है, मॉब लिंचिंग के नाम पर, क्योंकि आपको ऐसा लगता है कि ऐसा करने से आप एक समुदाय विशेष को टारगेट कर सकते हैं।
सर आप घर जाके जरा सुनिए आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, बस मैं वही बोलना चाहूंगी। आप घर जाके सुनिए। चलिए आप मुझे छोड़िए। विक्रम सिंह, आई वांट टू ब्रिंग यू इन विक्रम सिंह। 1 second John Dal, I want to bring Vikram Singh, former DGP, and Mr. Singh, I just want you to talk to Mr. Bhardwaj. Forget about Samuday, forget about Khan, forget about Pehlu. What were the glaring loopholes? And let's just talk about facts. What were the glaring loopholes that the police did not look at and should have looked at?
Preeti, it was compromised from day one itself. The foundation was laid, and then you did not incorporate the basic tenets which even a trainee sub-inspector would have understood. Incorporate testimony under 164 of the CRPC, not done. Send the video clips for forensic and scientific evaluation and assessment, not done. The proper dying declaration to have been recorded of Pehlu Khan, not done. Proper autopsy, not done. Proper presentation of the case, not done. Proper submission for evaluation, not done. I don't know what, is there a single claim on which you can say that you did the right thing by the book? You did not. The Rajasthan Police Academy has a slogan boldly displayed: if you want peace, fight for justice. I would have expected. It is very disappointing that the Rajasthan Police lived up to the slogan that they displayed in the Rajasthan Police Academy. It is not a botched up, it is a compromised and a derailed investigation where nothing went wrong. My simple submission would be now to prepare an acquittal report on the basis of the judgment, find out what were the flaws and what could have been done and was not done, as you very rightly mentioned, and what prevented the prosecution from making extra efforts, run the extra mile to have got the conviction. It is a bad investigation and a worse prosecution that ended in this acquittal. I do hope that we go in appeal, but the fact remains this will be the shame of the investigation, and it has brought disrepute to the investigation and to the uniform.
भारद्वाज जी, ये ना हम कह रहे हैं ना कांग्रेस कह रही है। जो कांग्रेस मुझे लगता है खुद भी गिल्टी है, ये कोई और नहीं कह रहा। पर जब आप कहते हैं कि ये सब हम इसीलिए बोल रहे हैं कि राजस्थान स्टेट को बदनाम करने के लिए, या जो प्राइड है राजस्थान की उसको बर्बाद करने के लिए या उसको बदनाम करने के लिए, आप जरा घर जाके एक बात जरूर सोचिएगा सर, एक फेक सेंस ऑफ प्राइड का मतलब क्या होता है आपने। और सोचिएगा, सोचिएगा,
मैं घर जाके जरूर सोचूंगा और सुनिए सोचूंगा। और आप भी ये सोचिएगा कि 20 दिन पहले उसी अलवर जिले में एक युवक को पीट कर मार दिया गया समुदाय से दूसरी समुदाय के लोगों ने, लेकिन उसकी कोई चर्चा भी नहीं कर रहा। वो भी घर जाकर जो लोग
तो इसीलिए सर, तो इसीलिए जो पहलू खान का क्विटल हुआ सही हुआ, आप ये कह रहे हैं।
उसके बारे में भी
भारद्वाज जी जरूर दिखाएंगे, दिखाया था, दिखाएंगे। आप मुझे बताइए, आप ये जो बोल रहे हैं तो इसका मतलब ये, क्योंकि जो 20 दिन पहले हुआ उसकी आपके हिसाब से इतनी बड़ी खबर नहीं करी, तो जो पहलू खान के साथ हुआ वो सही किया। हम क्यों बोल रहे हैं सब ठीक हुआ पहलू खान के साथ?
खबर नहीं की मैम,
ये कह रहे हैं आप।
राजस्थान की आज की सरकार के दबाव में मर्डर का केस ही दर्ज नहीं हुआ,
तो इसीलिए जो पहलू खान के साथ हुआ बिल्कुल ठीक हुआ, ये कह रहे हैं। क्योंकि वहां पे कुछ नहीं हुआ तो यहाँ पे कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए।
पहली लाइन से ये कहा है कि
an eye for an eye
पुलिस के काम में इंटरफेयर नहीं किया।
makes one blind, sir. An eye for an eye makes one blind. Anyway, appreciate.
आज पुलिस,
सर बोलिए, चलिए आप बोलिए।
आज भी वही पुलिस राजस्थान में है, राजस्थान पुलिस के डीजीपी है। आज वो कह देंगे कि वो पुलिस ने जो काम किया वो शर्मनाक है, जो यूपी पुलिस के पूर्व डीजीपी।
सर आज भी अगर वही पुलिस है, मेरी बात सुनिए,
राजस्थान
अगर आज भी वही पुलिस है जो आप केस बोल रहे हैं जो 20 दिन पहले हुआ, इस पुलिस ने ये केस अगर इन्वेस्टिगेट किया और इस पुलिस ने पहलू खान का केस इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, तो इस पुलिस को शर्म से डूब मरना चाहिए, क्योंकि दोनों केस में सेम काम किया है। और आप यहाँ पर बैठ के बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि उसमें नहीं हुआ तो आप ये बोल रहे हैं। सर आई फॉर एन आई मेक्स एवरीवन ब्लाइंड, हम इसी पे छोड़ रहे हैं। बहुत शुक्रिया सर भारद्वाज जी, बहुत शुक्रिया।
एजेंडा सेलेक्टिव है, एजेंडा सेलेक्टिव है, क्योंकि पहलू खान के नाम के आगे खान लगा हुआ है, इसलिए आप
तो इसीलिए अगर एजेंडा सेलेक्टिव है, पहलू खान को जस्टिस नहीं मिलना चाहिए, आप ये कह रहे हैं। पर चलिए, बहुत शुक्रिया,
हमने फेयर इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया।
बहुत शुक्रिया। जॉन डायल, 10 seconds.
One second. We have protested the killing of Dalits in Rajasthan. We have protested the lynching of women on accusation that they were witches. We have protested, obviously, all communal violence. That is not an excuse.
Mr. Dayal, I need to go into a break. Appreciate all of you joining us. Thank you, Mr. Singhvi. Thank you all for joining us on this debate. Thank you, Mr. Bharadwaj, as well, a spokesperson of the Rajasthan Bharatiya Janata Party. We're going to go into a quick break on the other side. Well, a historic bid to integrate all three defense forces, top military posts of chief